Her name is Amaya, which means near God in Arabic. I thought a lot about recording this video and really had to gather strength and composure to do so. I just wanted to post this on my existing YouTube channel because it already has a few subscribers, and I just want my story to be heard and known. It's been 3 months when my daughter was stillborn, and life for John and me just changed totally after that. She was born on 3rd of Feb, or I should say she was stillborn on the 3rd of Feb. On the 1st of Feb night, I just called the hospital to report a reduced fetal movement, and they asked me to come in as soon as possible. I just went in thinking that it would be a normal checkup, keeping my head high, having positive thoughts, positive hopes. Walking straight in, I had no issues. I didn't have any pain. I didn't have any other discomfort. Just I was feeling that the movements are reduced or have changed. And so I went in. They took me into a ward. A midwife was assigned to do the checkup, and she put the Doppler on my tummy. And as soon as she did that, I didn't hear the heartbeat as I used to before, but because it's my first experience, I didn't say anything, and I just let her do her job. Then there was another midwife who came in and asked the other midwife if everything was going okay, if everything was fine. And then the doctor came in, dressed in casuals, and she just said she was walking out of the door and she could see the screens outside, and that's why she just came in. And then I thought that what's happening? Something is not right. Why is everybody inside this cramped room? Then that doctor took the machine from the midwife and took it to the other side, asked John to go on the other side and stand there. And then she just emptied the whole bottle of the gel on my tummy, which was quite, I don't know. And then she just applied the Doppler again and checked everywhere on my stomach. And then after a few seconds, she just held my hand and just said those words which we never wanted to hear. Nobody would ever want to hear those words, and nobody should ever hear those words. I'm so sorry, your daughter has passed away. We cannot find her heartbeat. After that, everything was blur for me. I just remember they dimmed the light of the room before breaking that news, and they left John and I for some time. John was crying. He held my hand, but I was just in a state of shock. I couldn't react. I couldn't cry. I couldn't scream. I couldn't do anything. I just kept on saying that, how could this happen? How could this happen? It was total disbelief of what she just said, and went out of the room. They came back after some time, and then John asked the doctor, what's the process from here? Where do we go from here? And she said that she's already called the sonographer who was on duty, and she'll be coming in to do formal ultrasound, which will clarify what she said. And I constantly kept on praying till that ultrasound that the doctor should be proved wrong. After a while, we were taken to the next level, to the ultrasound ward, and um, ultrasound did confirm, though I wished if for something otherwise. And then there were a lot of medical procedures. We were taken into a maternity ward, and without going into further details, I was induced straight away, and she was born on the 3rd of Feb at 6:14 a.m. Normal delivery. Beautiful child, fully grown, 3.5 kgs, tall girl, just beautiful. As I said, why I wanted to record this video is first to introduce Amaya to this whole world, and also talk about how a normal, healthy, perfectly fine pregnancy can also lead to this outcome of stillbirth, which me and my husband were totally unaware of, or we were just naive to not know. Um, yeah, um, I both of us had an idea about miscarriages, but uh, not about stillbirth. We didn't know something could go wrong at just towards the end, just at 38 weeks, just 2 weeks before, when we were waiting for our child to come, and had all the preparations in the house, everything set up for her, and she was gone. Also, how I am navigating through my grief, and how I'm coping with grief, which is now a journey of our lifetime. So Amaya was a very easy child. Um, I had no issues whatsoever in my pregnancy. Just even very little morning sickness. No major issues ever reported. Not even the common issues which people report. Or I should say that my darling angel um, was very easy on mama, and didn't bother me much. I was working, I was attending social gatherings, I was doing both of my jobs, my job in SA Water, and also my job as a singer. So I performed on stage when I was 20 weeks. So with her inside me, and we performed on the stage. That was my last performance. After that, I went off stage, and I was just doing recordings. I was on top of the world when I found out that she was a girl. The sonographer told me in one of the scans and that you're having a little princess, and and I was like, wow, that's what I wanted. And then the most cruel thing happened, and that princess was taken away from me. Um, my scans were normal, the morphology scan was normal, nothing was ever wrong, and that's what we thought, that nothing could ever go wrong. Life after her as a mom is so different to what I ever imagined. I'm still a mom, but my darling angel is not with me, not in my arms. She's just watching over me. I'm so thankful to the hospital staff who made so many memories for us with her. As I was unaware of stillbirth, I was totally unaware of what needs to be done after a baby is delivered. They helped us click a lot of pictures. They let me cuddle her, kiss her, let me be with her, let her be in my room as long as I wanted. And I realize it is so important now, uh, that I got to hold her, I got to feel her. Uh, she is my baby. She was inside me, and um, I would have really missed something big if I would not have known um, what to do with this child who is not crying, who I can't take home. Um, because those were the treasured memories I have with her, the only moments I have with her, of her outside of me. Initial few days were the hardest for me. Um, John made sure that I was eating properly, and I was eating all that I should, for my body to recover, because I had to physically recover. Um, and my living room and my couch just became my permanent spot for the whole day. I couldn't move, even because I was physically not fit, and definitely the mental trauma of all it as well. Um, People around us were our biggest strength, with our family not being here, and could not visit us even if they want to in this pandemic situation, with travel restrictions. Um, our friends and neighbors, colleagues were the ones who are our family in this faraway land. Um, Everybody provided their love, their support. They were with us at the hospital, even after, visited our home, just left food on our doorsteps if we didn't want to meet them, respected our privacy as well. If we said we don't want to meet, um, but just were there, sending us kind words, kind messages to show that they are there. If we need them, just they are there, just for a call away. Um, this is this was so helpful, and I have so much of gratitude to all my friends, loved ones, colleagues, neighbors, who provided that support to us. And because of that, we were able to stand back on our feet and look for positive things to hang on to, as well. There are a few friends who just provided their ear. They are just listeners. They just come home or meet us and just listen without giving any suggestions. Sometimes that's what is required, just hearing the story out. Um, and also, I prefer the truth. I prefer to hear the truth. Um, Sometimes consoling words are not consoling. I want to hear that this is a bad situation. I want to hear that this is wrong, this is unfair, this is cruel. It is, it is wrong. There's nothing right about this. SIDS and Kids is one of the bereavement support organizations which provide grief counseling to bereaved parents. And we got their contact through the Women's and Children Hospital. And Jaylene from SIDS and Kids visit our home to meet us and talk to us on how our journey on navigating through grief, sharing few tips, being a listener, and just providing that support which we need the most at this time when we are alone. She also offers separate sessions with John and me, because it's very different how a woman grieves as compared to a man. I also read a lot online. I read a few books. That was what was I was doing after a few days, to utilize my time and to work through this journey. And I found about another organization named SANDS, which is another grief support help and they provide counseling from one bereaved parent to the other bereaved parent, showing that they are not alone. We are not alone, and there is a community of people out there who have suffered the same trauma, the same tragedy, and share each other's stories there. I remember how Jaylene told us the first day that how we became part of this group of people of which we never thought we will be a part of, bereaved parents. Um, but that's how life is. Faith is something which gets shaken the most in such a situation. Um, I started asking the questions: why did this happen to me? What did I do to deserve this punishment? What did I do wrong? Um, why me? What good will be there behind um, this thing which God or the supreme power or the universe has done to us? And there were no answers. There are no answers. I learned that how much or how many questions I ask, I'm not getting any answers. And the only way to hang on to life is to be grateful and be thankful for the things I have with me. Like, well, John, my family's health back in India, my health. So, and get up every morning and being thankful for that day, for that present moment when I was alive. There are a lot of questions I had for the specialist who took my case at the hospital. And then we had our appointment with him on the 28th of April, just last week, to discuss the placenta findings and the baby's autopsy report. So, probable cause which they found out is that there was an infection caused by a bacteria named Urea plasma urealyticum, which caused amniotic fluid infection in the placenta. Um, I have, and I still have, so many questions about how this happened. Where did the bacteria come from? How did the bacteria got transmitted to the baby? And I asked a few questions as well to the specialist, but none would reach to an answer that they can get my baby back. The only thing is that what could be done if this happens again? What are the ways to mitigate this if this happens again? And the saddest part was, in this case, that I'm an asymptomatic person. So I had no symptoms of an infection. I was not showing any signs, or I didn't report any fever, itching, any discharge, anything which they could have treated me for. So without me showing any symptoms, they couldn't treat me for an infection during pregnancy. Even after taking proper care of your food, sleep, exercise, activity, medicines, supplements, this can still be an outcome, and how fragile life can be, and how important it is to be aware of it. Someone told me once that this whole process of conceiving, getting pregnant, and then delivering a baby is just a miracle, and I so agree with that. It is a miracle, and I got to enjoy the first part of it, but didn't get to the latter. My intent, as I said earlier, is just to talk about stillbirth, just to raise some awareness on stillbirth and how sadly common it is. Um, I think and most of the times there is no reason found for stillbirth, but in my case we got one probable reason. um, it is so important for everyone to monitor movements. uh, I did read about it earlier while I was pregnant, but I think that the medical staff should and must add this in their protocol to talk to every female on the importance of movements, how to monitor them, how to know and be aware of the pattern of movements, and immediately report if there is some change. Um, there are charities working for this cause. One is Still Aware, which was founded here in Adelaide, South Australia. They are working tremendously for this cause to help preventable stillbirth, and I had no idea about them before. And I've only found about them by doing my own research, and I read about them in one of the books I read by Annabelle Bower, Miles Apart, a beautiful book on stillbirth of Annabelle Bower. Um, so stillbirth is still it's a very taboo subject. It's culturally a taboo subject. Both stillbirth and miscarriages are taboo, and most of the times parents are just left alone to grieve on their own. um, my message is, why not talk about it? The reality of death is so harsh and so cruel in this beauty of birth. So, why not be aware of it, that with the beauty of birth, there can be this circumstance, there can be this outcome. Um, and then, if this happens, which is not in anyone's control, then why not talk about it? Why not discuss it with everyone as we grieve for any other family member, as we grieve for our parents, our friends, our elders, whoever dies in our family, we grieve for them and talk about them. So why don't we talk about the stillborn child? Why don't we take their names? Every life, however small it was, leaves an impact on this world, leaves an impact in on their families. So why not talk about them and help in the grieving process? So much of banter in one video, but I think I have a lot to talk about. I just tried to cover it in one video, and I will always have a lot to talk about Amaya, um, who was given as a small gift to me, to both of us, me and John, and to our families. And she's an angel. She's an angel watching over me, and she was so easy on me, and she gave me that experience of being a mom. And I will always be a mom, and I will always miss her, uh, and always will talk about her. She gave me the best experience ever of my first pregnancy, and an angel watching over mommy. I will never let her down, and will always take care of my body and enjoy this precious gift of life in this present moment. Thanks to all of you who have taken out time to watch this video, and hear me out and hear my message. Happy Mother's Day. If you have been moved by my message, I just will ask you to light a candle in Amaya's name, and just take her name, so that she can know how much she is loved in this world. Yeah, thank you so much.